This is another episode of the Hawkins STEM Chronicles. More to the point, it's a supplement to an episode that I shot earlier today where we're getting organized to do a STEM project on the grounds of a Quaker Meeting House. The object of the exercise is to look at the Underground Railroad from a STEM perspective. Look at the science, the technology, the engineering, and the mathematics that went into moving people from point A to point B. But I swear, being at this place, this Quaker Meeting House, the grounds of the Quaker Meeting House, it was almost like being on an episode of a science fiction television show that I'm not going to mention the name of it because I probably don't have permission. But it was almost like I stepped back in time. And I really wish you could have been there because the people were so warm and they were so caring and they were so loving. To me, a complete stranger. But what was interesting was the time parallels. So here we are in the 21st century, almost going into the second quarter of the 21st century. And someone conveys me to this place. Interestingly enough, a woman whose ancestors worked on the Underground Railroad or participated in the Underground Railroad, however it is you want to put it. So when we got there, I'm setting up the camera and everything. And a couple of people walk out, and for whatever reason, they were in the Quaker Meeting House. And so we all came out, and they were so very kind and so welcoming and just so caring. Now, one would automatically think that those descriptors aren't part of STEM, and yet they can be. But anyway, getting back. So because the Quaker Meeting House was open anyway, they invited me in. It was the first time I had ever been in a Quaker Meeting House. And this was so wild. These people whose families and relatives and ancestors back in the 1850s, 1860s, what have you, would have participated in the Underground Railroad were bringing me, a stranger, in. Now, let's think about that for a second. And again, we're going to depart from STEM for just a tad bit. Have you ever been in a situation in which you showed up somewhere and you didn't know anyone and people took you in? One time I was on a flight to Jordan, and God, that was a nightmare flight. Got there, it was incredibly late. I'd been in the air for over 20 hours. But when I got there, it was cold, I was tired, and I was hungry. But the people that were in Jordan, they took me in, they fed me, they gave me somewhere warm and comfortable to sleep. And I can almost imagine what it must have been like for people who showed up there, perhaps announced or unannounced, whichever, but they were cared for and they were loved. Again, fast forward to to 2024. Were these people acting out what they had been raised in for generations, caring for other people? We make a lot of different comments about how Americans treat Americans. And one of the things we always try to say is, well, we're a very loving people. We're a very kind people. But if you had been with me today, you would have seen it. So anyway, I also met some other interesting people. There's a woman there. She's a biologist by training, and I'm going to interview her probably at another time. She also has an incredibly interesting habit. She's a potter. Not habit, hobby. She's a potter. And then I met some other people that were also involved in STEM. So we're probably going to talk later on. And probably in another video, I'll talk more about how STEM was part of the Underground Railroad, go into that in more detail, and how we're going to put the teams together to, look at this and look at this issue and play it out. And again, understand how STEM is a part or was a part of the Underground Railroad. The rationale being is that STEM is part of our lives every day. So we're going to be all together and we're going to consider STEM and we're going to be considering how STEM works in our day-to-day lives. Anyway, I've got to get back to work. Thank you all very much. Please, please, please do me a favor. I know you don't know me and that's okay, but please do me a favor, like and subscribe. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you.